Today is September 25th, 2023. My name is Rob Carr of Kalamazoo Right to Life, and this is Pro-Life Week. Well, three things on the program today. First, late last week, we received good news coming out of the UK. Isabel Vaughan Spruce. Now, I've mentioned her name months ago, so hopefully you might remember that name. Isabel Vaughan Spruce. She heads the March for Life in the UK. So she's one of the top pro-life leaders in Great Britain. Well, she has been the target of 2 arrests in the last year and a half, 2 years, primarily up in Birmingham, England. And what happened was she was arrested, actually both times, for the same violation. She was violating what was called the Public Spaces Protection Order. What that is, it gives a buffer zone around an abortion clinic. And according to the ordinance, even prayer is prohibited if you are within this buffer zone. And she was praying, and she was arrested. What makes this case not only unusual but horrendous is that the prayer she was engaging in was silent prayer. And this is what she said. Now, I'm not sure if this was said just recently or in the months past. This isn't 1984. The book, okay? So he's talking about the book in 1980. This isn't 1984, but 2023. I should never have been arrested or investigated simply for the thoughts I held in my own head. Silent prayer is never criminal, unquote. I like that. And I brought this up months ago when I talked about Elizabeth's case. The prayers that she thinks in her head were criminal in Great Britain. Well, after a 6-month investigation, the local police in Birmingham announced they will not bring charges against her. And they even issued her an apology. So thank God that cooler heads have prevailed, and Elizabeth Vaughan Spruce can go back to praying silently. I mean, just the very fact I even have to mention that is absurd. That a person could be arrested and possibly either fined or incarcerated for violating this Public Spaces Protection Order because she had the audacity to think things in her own head in the form of a prayer. Well, it didn't happen. She's been released, and she's not going to be prosecuted. So good news coming out of the UK. Also, last Thursday, the California Attorney General, we know, remember, this is California, they're all liberals, they're all pro-abortion zealots, they're all Democrats. He announced that he meaning the state of California, is suing 2 organizations that operate pregnancy care centers. Heartbeat International, which is a large organization that runs hundreds of crisis pregnancy centers all across the country. But Heartbeat International and Real Options Obraya. I'm not familiar with them. But the charge that the Attorney General in California is going after them is that they provide abortion pill reversal services. Now, and I've talked about this before too. The chemical abortion, it's a 2-pill regimen. A woman, if she doesn't want to have a surgical procedure, she can have a chemical one. She takes a pill, mifepristone, in the first 6-7 weeks of pregnancy, and then about 3 or 4 days later, she takes a second pill. And the first pill inhibits the growth or the production of progesterone, which will maintain a healthy pregnancy. And the second drug is more of a pill that will allow the woman to expel a dead baby. So pro-lifers have, with research, they have discovered that if a woman changes her mind within like 24 to 48 hours after taking the first pill, if she changes her mind, if a pro-life doctor gives her large doses of progesterone after having already taken mifepristone, there is about a 66% chance that infusion of progesterone will offset the effect of the mifepristone, and she will be able to maintain a pregnancy. And it has been successful in about 66% of the time. Well, the Attorney General of California has said, let me see, get the quote here, fraudulent and misleading claims to advertise an unproven and largely experimental procedure called abortion pill reversal. And he is claiming that these pro-life clinics are guaranteeing success. And like Heartbeat International and Real Options, O'Brien said, no, we have never told women that if they take these large doses of progesterone, this will save that pregnancy. It does in 66% of the time, but not 100%. But the Attorney General is claiming that they're giving women this false message that they can save their pregnancy. And so they're going after them. And this is a concerted effort that we've seen in other states as well as in Michigan, that pregnancy care centers are targets of pro-abortion politicians because first they see our success rate and they want to stop it. And I got to thinking too, if they're all about choice, pro-choice, then why can't they be about a woman's choice in taking this abortion pill reversal? If it's all about choice, shouldn't women be allowed to have the choice to try an experimental drug that might save that pregnancy? And and then they talked in the article. It talked about how the Attorney General is complaining about the fact that we're claiming that so many women are regretting their abortions, and they said, well, it's only 5% of women who regret their abortions. It's a small percent. Well, I did a little research back in 2017, and I regret this is the most recent number they gave me. 2017, there were 862,320 abortions, according to the Guttmacher Institute, which used to be an arm of Planned Parenthood. Of that number, 132,680 abortions were performed in California. So I did the math. If they said 95% of women have no regrets about their abortion, but 5% do, I looked at 5% of that 132,680. And that comes to 6,634 women regretted what they did. And I still feel 6,600 people is a lot. That is a lot of women who regretted what they did when they killed their baby. Okay. Last item, and this is potentially good news. Last week, the Michigan House Health Policy Committee voted on the Reproductive Health Act in Lansing. It's a collection of 11 bills that would essentially gut or repeal almost all of the pro-life laws that we've passed in the last 40 years. Informed consent, 24-hour waiting period, our ban on partial birth abortion, our ban on tax-funded abortions, a law requiring clinic safety standards and licensing, and others. Okay. The committee is stacked. This health policy committee was stacked. 12 Democrats, 7 Republicans. So it's going to pass. And it did pass out of this committee. But it's interesting that the the Democrat-Republican split was 12-7, because right now there's 110 members in the Michigan House, and the Democrats only have a 2-member majority, 56 members, or 56 Democrats to 54 Republicans. So with such a narrow, thin margin of the majority, the Democrat-Republican split on this committee should have been 10-9. So if it's 12-7, you've got 19 members. But on a practically 50-50 House, it should have been 10-9, with the Democrats having that slight majority. So they stacked it to favor the pro-abortion majority. Well, there's a member of that committee. Her name is, what is her name? I'm looking at my cheat sheet here. Karen Whitsett. She's a Democrat from Detroit, and she voted with the Republicans in this committee. And I'm not saying she's pro-life. I'm not saying that, but she has major reservations with a lot of these bills. And she had said regarding the 24-hour waiting period, she said, quote, "I do not think it's too much to ask. When someone's terminating a life, a 24-hour pause to be able to say for sure, this is the decision you want to make. 24 hours is not that much," unquote. So thank God that one Democrat is looking at least the 24-hour waiting period, and she says, no, that's valid. That's not too much to ask. But her biggest concern is on the repeal on tax-funded abortions, because she says that it will increase Medicaid costs at the expense of senior citizens receiving Medicaid benefits. So she sees that trade-off. If we're going to spend money on abortions, the senior citizens are going to suffer, and that is not right, according to Representative Whitsett. So, according to the rules, if she sticks with her vote, if she hangs with all the Republicans, and we have to make sure that all 54 Republicans vote pro-life. We need every single Republican to vote pro-life. So when this vote comes to the full House, if there is a vote, which there probably will be, if this representative from Detroit votes with the Republicans, it will give the no vote, the pro-life vote, 55 votes. And the Democrats will have 55 votes, because they have 56 minus this gal from Detroit. On tie votes in the House, the bill dies. The bill dies. Now remember, in the Senate, it's kind of like the same policy that we have at the national level. If there's a tie vote, Vice President Kamala Harris breaks the tie. Well, in the Michigan State Senate, the Lieutenant Governor breaks the tie. And obviously the Lieutenant Governor is a pro-abortion zealot, and he would vote, I think it's a man, he would vote with the majority, the Democrats. So keep Representative Karen Whitsett in your prayers. Be praying for this woman, that she holds her convictions, holds the line, and we can defeat this bill with one Democrat vote. One Democrat is the difference between victory on our side and defeat for unborn babies and for all these horrible bills that the Democrats want to ram down our throats. Be praying for her. One vote makes the difference. Lift her up in prayer that she is strong and courageous and will stand up against her own party. Be believing that this can happen. With that, I'll let you go, and I will see you next time.